Just because you've destroyed Metal Gear doesn't mean I'm done fighting.
Fighting? What are you really after?
The restoration of the era when warriors such as us lived as we should.
That was Big Boss's fantasy.
It was his dying wish. When he was young during the Cold War, the world needed men like us.
Now, though, things have changed.
We were desired. But things are different now. With all the liars and hypocrites running the world, war isn't what it used to be. We're losing our place in a world that no longer needs us. A world that now spurns our very existence. You should know that as well as I do. After I launch this weapon and get our $1 billion, we'll be able to bring chaos and honor back to this world gone soft.
As though you're actually gonna launch a nuke from that smoldering wreck.
New hatreds will arise, and our own biosphere shall steadily expand.
But as long as there are people, there will always be war.
But the problem is balance. Father knew what type of a balance was best.
Is that the only reason?
No.
Isn't that reason enough for warriors
I
such
just
as
want to
us?
watch the world burn.
I don't want that kind of world.
Ha! You lie. So why are you here then? Why do you continue to follow your orders while your superiors betray you? Why did you come here? Well, I'll tell you then. You enjoy all the killing, that's why.
Is this guy like standing 2 feet from me or something, giving me this lecture?
It? Haven't you already killed most of my comrades?
That was...
I watched your face as you delivered the coup de grace. Oh, it reflected.
Oh, yes.
Brutality.
Look at that. Hosing them down.
There is a killer inside you. You don't have to deny it. We were created to be.
Apparently he
that
likes to
way.
be shirtless, so he took off my shirt as well.
Les enfants terribles. The terrible children. That's what the project was called. It started in the 1970s. Their plan was to artificially create the most powerful soldier possible. The person that they chose as the model was a man known then as the greatest living soldier in the world.
Big Boss.
But Father was wounded in combat and already in a coma when they brought him in. So they created us from his cells, with a combination of 20th century analog cloning and the Super Baby method.
Super Baby method?
Baby method.
Do they just make this stuff up as they go?
An egg with one of Father's cells.
Super babies.
Let it divide into 8 clone babies. Then they transferred the clones to someone's uterus and later intentionally aborted 6 of the fetuses to encourage strong fetal growth.
What the fuck?
You and I were originally octuplets.
Octuplets?
Yes. The other 6 of our brothers were sacrificed to make us. We were accomplices in murder before the day we were even born.
This is a very, very
You and
disgusting
I,
method.
2 fertilized eggs with exactly the same DNA. But they weren't finished yet. They used me as a guinea pig to create a phenotype in which all of the dominant genes were expressed.
In you.
To create you. I got all the recessive genes. You took everything from me before I was even born. But you and I aren't his only children.
What?
The Genome Soldiers. They too are his progeny, carrying on his genetic legacy. But unlike us, they carry it digitally. With the completion of the Human Genome Project in the last century, the mysteries of humanity were laid bare. Thanks to Father's DNA, they were able to identify more than 60 soldier genes responsible for everything from strategic thinking to the proverbial killer instinct. Those soldier genes were transplanted using gene therapy into the members of the next generation special forces.
Hence the Genome Army.
Became the Genome Soldiers.
A nice little mid-boss fight lecture.
Right. The Genome Soldiers that you've been killing right and left are our brothers with the same genes as ours.
The Genome Soldiers?
Yeah, that's what he just spent 30 seconds talking about.
Artificially produced from Father's genetic pattern. They are our blood brothers, and they were born of many an ultimate sacrifice.
Sacrifices?
Human experiments. Huh? 1991, the Gulf War. The military secretly injected soldiers with the soldier genes.
Because the United States has always been an amazing prick nation.
Thousands of returning soldiers complained
always something hidden.
Was a side effect of it.
Ha! Everyone knows that the Gulf War syndrome was caused by exposure to pesticides and radiation from depleted uranium rounds.
That's what they want you to think.
That was just a cover story issued by the Pentagon. First, they tried to say it was post-traumatic stress disorder,
which really doesn't exist.
Biological weapons.
Watch, I'm gonna say that doesn't exist.
Detection units and the anti-sarin injections, they were all just to cover up the secret genetic experiments.
So then, the so-called Gulf War babies that have been reported by Gulf War veterans are...
Yes, they too are our brothers and sisters.
So the Genome Soldiers mean that the experiments were a success?
Success? Don't be a fool. They're a complete failure. We're on the verge of extinction.
What?
Have you ever heard of the asymmetry theory? Nature tends to favor asymmetry. Those species which have gone extinct all show signs of symmetry. The Genome Soldiers suffer from the same problem, signs of symmetry. So do I, as do you. That's right. We are all on the verge of death at the genetic level.
Amazing.
We don't know when or what type of disease will occur. That's why we need the old man's genetic information.
That way they won't all instantly die.
So you can save your family? It's very touching.
In nature, family members don't mate with each other.
Oh God.
They help each other to survive. Do you know why?
Because they're all genetically similar?
Because it increases the chances that shared genes will be transmitted to future generations. Altruism among blood relatives is a response to natural selection. That we will help our blood relatives is inscribed in our very genes.
You're telling me that your genes are ordering you to save the Genome Soldiers?
You can't fight your genes. It's fate. All living things are born for the sole purpose of passing on their parents' genes. That's why I'll follow what my genes tell me. And then, I'm going to go beyond. In order to
I will blow up the entire world for no reason.
And to do that, first, I will kill you. Look behind you.
Meryl?
Yep, she's alive. What's wrong with her?
Is she alive?
I'm not sure. She was alive.
Or maybe she's not alive.
Ago. Poor girl kept calling your name.
Meryl.
Stupid woman. Falling in love with a man who doesn't even have a name.
I have a name.
No. We have no past, no future. If we did, Our fate is nothing but what is determined in the genes we inherited from our father.
Let Meryl go.
Can't
As
let
soon
you
as
do
we
that.
finished our business. We're almost out of time.
You're talking about Foxdie.
No. It seems now that the Pentagon knows that Metal Gear is destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Under their decision. They won't even need a BDA.
Battle damage
If you want
assessment.
the details, why don't you ask your precious Colonel Campbell?
What are they gonna do? Bomb the place? They don't need anything there anymore. They want to cover it up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
What is the Pentagon trying to do? Colonel, answer me.
The Secretary of Defense has taken over active control of this operation. He's on his way there by AWACS.
What for?
To bomb the place.
Yep,
What?
I knew it.
Not only that, B-2 bombers just lifted off from Galena Air Force Base. They're carrying B-6113...
They're going to nuke Shadow
nuclear
Moses.
bombs.
What? Metal Gear is destroyed. Tell the Secretary of Defense.
But that's exactly
The Secretary
why.
of Defense heard that Naomi double-crossed us, and he's worried about Foxdie. Now that there's no more danger of a nuclear strike from Metal Gear, he's going to do whatever's necessary to cover up the
Yep,
truth
he's
of
gonna
what
cover
really
everything
happened
up.
here.
He's going to drop a nuclear bomb to vaporize all the evidence, along with anyone who knows anything.
Don't worry, Snake. I'll stop the nuclear strike.
How?
I may be only a figurehead here, but I'm still officially in command of this mission. If I issue an order to delay the strike, it'll confuse the chain of command.
Yeah,
At least buy me
well,
some time.
he's sacrificing
It'll give me a chance
himself.
to escape.
But Colonel, if you do
He'll be
that-
court-martialed on the
It's okay,
spot.
Snake. The truth is, Foxhound was already the subject of an undercover investigation. Merrill was transferred to this base just before the terrorist attack as a way of manipulating me.
Those bastards.
I'm sorry. They forced me to cooperate in exchange for her life. You'd better get out of there, Snake.
Are you sure? It'll be bad for you.
Not nearly as bad as it will be for you.
Do for you after all the lies.
Colonel.
I'm ordering them to cancel the bombing run. After that, there's no turning back. Huh? What are you doing?
Okay, thwack.
Snake!
Mei Ling, what happened to the Colonel?
I don't believe it!
What happened?
Snake, the Colonel!
Roy Campbell has
Who's
been
this
relieved
guy?
of duty. This is the Secretary of Defense, Jim
Oh,
Hausman.
good thing he was talking shit about the Secretary of Defense 2 feet away from him.
Arrest for leaking top-secret information and for the crime of high treason.
Ridiculous.
Yes, he is a ridiculous man. He truly believed that he was in command of this operation.
You bastard.
There won't be a speck of evidence left. I'm sure the President would want the same thing.
Probably not.
President ordered this?
The President is a busy man.
In
I
other
have
words, he's
complete
unaware of what's
authority
actually
here.
happening.
How do you plan on explaining a nuclear attack on Alaska to the media?
The Russians attacked us.
We've prepared a convincing cover story. We'll simply say that the terrorists exploded a nuclear device.
Damn it! You'll be murdering everyone here. The scientists, the Genome Army, everyone.
Donald, the DARPA chief, is already dead.
So it doesn't
You
matter.
didn't mean to kill the DARPA chief after all.
He was my friend.
And you could care less about what happens to everybody else, huh?
Well, if you give me the optic disc, I might consider saving them.
Ocelot has
What are you
that,
talking
though.
about?
Metal Gear's test data. Donald was supposed to bring it back.
I don't have it.
I
Then you can
see.
die.
Oh well,
Simple.
that's okay. You two are an embarrassment from the 1970s. Our country's dirty little secret. You can't be allowed to live. You're just the lingering ghosts of a system that is no more. Well, do try to get along in the time you have left before the bomb.
But what if I learn how to love the bomb and stop worrying? Dr. Strangelove style.
No way out for us. Let's finish this before the airstrike. You stole everything from me. I shall nullify you and your genes, and I will take them all back.